So this week we're doing vegetables as a healthy substitute. So instead of a protein or a grain this week. So this week we're doing cauliflower fried rice and cauliflower rice.
And just before we jump into the whole session, just want to give a huge thank you to Scotiabank, our sponsor for the Family Food Program, and also FoodShare, who's partnering with us to deliver food boxes.
Last week we did freezer foods. Did anyone try something new with freezer foods or made something that they had in their freezer for a while? You could say it out loud or you could let me know in the chat.
We used peas that were frozen for a long time.
Ooh, that's a good one. What did you make?
Last week we made the potato.
Ooh, that's good. I'm happy that you made it with us and you liked it.
I definitely.
That's good. You steamed your frozen vegetables. That's another good one too. To have something nice and fresh. Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
I'm just gonna, I wasn't sure if Chef was trying to say something. I'm just gonna give her the heads up now while we're chatting that you're on mute, Chef. So it might be something for you to figure out as we're having our discussion. Yeah, I love this one, freezer foods. I made a smoothie bowl with some frozen banana, and it's really nice to hear what you guys are making at home too.
I made some berry smoothies with some berries that had been in my freezer way too long, but it still made a good smoothie. I don't think it would have been good for much else.
Always a good one. So this week we're doing vegetable substitutes. So that could be using a vegetable instead of a grain or vegetable instead of like a meat protein. And we're just learning how to do things in a different creative way with some of the produce we have. Go with Chef.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me, Chef? Yeah.
You ready for me? Yeah.
We're ready for you.
Okay, thank you. So this week, I'm going to talk a little bit about, some protein substitutes. And we're going to be making cauliflower rice. Now, there was a question that somebody just brought up. Can you use other vegetables? If you cut up some other types of vegetables kind of pretty small and then you pulse them in your food processor, you could probably, there'll be some vegetables that will work out quite well. Yeah, if you just put a lid on it, let it cook for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm thinking like harder vegetables like carrots and things like that. So if you don't happen to have cauliflower, that's okay. You can try something that you have on hand and then let us know what happens with your dish. So today we're making cauliflower rice. It's really, when you pulse the cauliflower, and you don't want to do it too small, you want to just maybe have the pieces probably the same size as maybe like rice, long grain rice. It works out well. If you puree it too much, it just turns into mush really, really quickly. So that's something to think about. So I thought cauliflower rice was a great example today of a dish to show you that really you can use it in many, many different ways. So today, I think I'm going to do a little bit of not a stir fry, but we're going to be using onions and ginger and garlic, and we're going to finish it off with a little bit of a soy dressing. And I know in the recipes I sort of gave a few other examples, You could, you know, a coconut milk is a great addition to this this dish as well. So you can try it a few different ways and see how you like it. But I'm also going to show you, when this is all finished, I'm also going to show you how to make like a bit of a nori roll, actually. A nori roll using the cauliflower instead of rice. And, you know, it's one of those things that if you have a couple of different crunchy raw vegetables in your fridge and a couple of sheets of nori, you can make a great meal out of that as well. So those are the two things that I'll be demonstrating today. So first of all, before I start cooking, I just want to, there's some other types of substitutes that I'd like to mention, like a protein substitute for, you know, people are thinking meat and fish. You know, I think we've all had, or we all know about tofu being a good source of protein, and lentils and beans.
Chef, you're muted again. I'm not sure what's happening.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, anyway, it's all fine now. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that there's just different ways to cook foods that do have a good source of protein. You know, you're roasting, you could be roasting vegetables. We have tofu, we have mushrooms, we have jackfruit, which is a very interesting fruit. Sort of tastes like a combination of apples and pineapple, banana kind of flavor, and it has a real meaty consistency. So there's lots of things that have a very meaty consistency that we can choose other than meat or fish. But in general, I mean, these are really great things to try at home as substitutes. So I thought the cauliflower was a great example of how you can completely change the way that you cook it, and it's really interesting how similar it is to eating rice. So I thought that was a very good example. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking this, and I'll continue to have conversation while I'm doing this. So first of all, I got my cauliflower right here, and I'm going to take some of the outer thick leaves off of this. I'll move that to the side. And as you remember from past classes, we can use these leaves and stems for other things. But for what we're making today, I think I'm just going to use the flower bud of the plant here, and I'll save this for if you like. I can cut it up, put it and saute it up a little bit as well. So we'll just move that to the side here. And I'm going to just show you what I mean by pulsing this. I'm just going to move all that to the side. So cut down the center. I'm going to cut it into a few small pieces here, sort of even pieces, so that when I'm pulsing it, it'll break down kind of in a similar size. So I've got my food processor right here. Put everything in. You don't want to put too much in the food processor at one time. This is probably as much as you'd want to put in at one time. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to put the lid back on, and I'm going to use the pulse feature, and I'm just going to keep pulsing it till it breaks down to the size that I'm looking for. Okay, there. It didn't take long at all. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. Just put this down here. I'll show you what, oops, take it out of here. See if I can put it on a wooden thing here. See if I can get the right angle here to show you. So as you can see, it's not too small. It's pretty small, but I'm going to cook it quite quickly. It won't take long. We don't want to cook it too long, because if you do that, it's going to turn into mush. And we want it to be just a little bit firm. So it'll have sort of the bite of eating rice. So I'm going to put my pan on the stove, get that going right there, move my food processor to the spot right here. see, put that down here. Okay, sorry, move my stove over here. All right, so I have a little bit more here as well, in a bowl somewhere. Oh, yeah, right here. Perfect. Okay, so there's a few things that we're going to add to this cauliflower rice to give it some flavor. And I think I'm going to start off by chopping up an onion, and probably use a small onion. And I have some ginger and some garlic. So I'm going to dice this onion up, and I'm going to saute it in this pan right here. Get rid of all the skin. And I'm going to save the skin of the onion. I'm going to save the skin of the onion, put it in my freezer, because I'm saving vegetable skins for my stalks. So I don't want to get rid of that. So I'm just going to dice up this onion. There we go. And we're going to saute this for a few minutes, probably about 3 or 4 minutes. Just going to put a little bit of oil in here, or butter. I have both actually, but I'm going to use just a little oil today. Okay. Oops. All right. Get it nice and hot. And we're going to put in the onion. It's right into the pan. We're going to start off by sauteing the onion. And while that's happening, get my spatula here. I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit. There we go. So that's sauteing nicely. I'm going to start by, we're going to use a little piece of ginger. Yeah, maybe that's enough. And I'm just going to take the skin off of it really quickly here. Okay. Whoops. There we go. I'm just going to chop it up fine, or if you have a microplane, you can use that as well. I'm just going to do it by hand.
Chef, I have a silly question. What is a microplane?
Oh, a microplane is this, right here. So it's a grater, and it's very sharp, and it turns things like garlic and ginger into a paste, which is very handy. This time I just thought I would do it by hand. It's okay. Yeah. It comes in handy for anything that you need really, really finely grated. It's great for different types of citrus zest. Fantastic for that. Okay, so we've got that in here right now. So we're sauteing everything up. Okay, and to this I'm going to probably just add a little bit of garlic here. I'm just going to grate it right into here and show you how the microplane works. It's very, very fine. There we go. It's all done. And I'm going to add something else to this as well. I'm going to add some green onions. Oh, maybe I'll chop some. Like if I was making a stir fry or like fried rice, I would start off sauteing some green onions at a pretty high heat. It's a really good flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Just put some right into this. Even though I have a white onion, a regular white onion, I'm going to put some green onions in here as well. You could do one or the other, or if you don't like onions, you could omit it. I'm going to add a little bit of over there. Okay. Gonna add some green onions right into here. And I've never tried using different colored cauliflower for this dish. A number of different colors that you could purchase. We've got orange, there's a purple, there's a green, and they all have different pigments, which sort of offer different health benefits. But in general, they're all pretty cauliflower is pretty packed with nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. So it's all pretty healthy. Okay. So now, if I had coconut milk, I could throw in a little bit of coconut milk with this as well, which would be really nice. But I don't have any, so I'm not using it. But I'm going to use cauliflower that I just take this out of here and just pulse. Oh, I know what I need. Hold it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this right into here. Get all that goodness right into this pan. Now, since I'm going to be putting in some soy sauce, I'm going to maybe just lightly season this. Okay. I don't want to waste any of this. Put this right into the pan. Now I'm going to put a little salt and pepper into this as well. Not too much. Okay. Salt and pepper. And I'm going to go get my lid. I'll be right back. Okay. So this is where we have to pay attention. I'm going to give this a good stir. Now this is going to cook really, really quickly. So you have to trust that it's going to be ready, because we don't want it to overcook. So just give a little stir. We're going to cover it and just let it cook for a few minutes. I'm going to check back on it in a couple of minutes, but in the meantime, I'm going to show you the toppings. The little sauce that I'm going to make. I'm going to get a little cup here. Oh, that's not the cup I want. Okay, so I've got my little jar here, and I mean, there's different things you could put into the finished rice. I'm just going to keep it fairly simple. I'm just going to use a little bit of soy sauce. I have a little bit of soy here, and I'm not going to use too much, because I can always add, but you can't take things away. So we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce. I also have just maybe a touch of honey, if you want it to be just a little tiny bit sweet, just a touch. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of to taste. Sometimes people, sometimes you like things to be a little bit sweeter, but I don't like it too sweet. So we're going to stir that up, and I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil. I have a little bit of sesame oil here. A little bit of sesame oil, not too much, just a little bit. And we're going to give that a stir. Now, I mean, I have other things that will give this really, really good flavor. I have fish sauce, which is right here, and it tastes great with a little bit of fish sauce as well. I have not right here, but even like a little bit of a Japanese mirin would work really well here too. All right, I'm going to mix that up. All right, give this a quick stir.
Chef, can you hear me? I have a quick question.
You have a question for me?
Yes. Or how high would you have the stove, and how long will you saute it for?
I have it at a medium-high temperature, but it's cooked already. That's how fast it cooks. It's done. If I cook this anymore, If I cook this anymore, it's going to be mushy. So it's super quick. It's super, super quick. So I have a platter right here. I know, I think you might think because it takes cauliflower, especially if you roast it in the oven, it takes a little while to cook. But as soon as you process it to this size, it just cooks so quickly. But I just had a taste of it, and it's still firm. It's still firm, like rice might be, but it's not mushy at all. So I'm gonna get it out of the pan right now. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. Now I guess I can just use this. All right. So I'm gonna get this onto the platter. I'm just gonna put this right here. Whoops. Now, there's a few things I might want to put on top of here. My onions cooked a little bit, so they're they have a little bit of a color. And I'm gonna put the hand rolls on this platter at some point as well, when I show you how to make those. All right, so that's the cauliflower. Okay, put this down here. Okay, so we move this out of the way. Okay. Now, I didn't mix it all together, but if you want to stir fry, if you want to mix this in all together, go right ahead. I kind of decided I was going to just do it on top. That's it. Okay. Sorry, clean up my plate here a little bit. And I have some toppings that I have toppings that go really well in a hand roll, but would go really well on top of the cauliflower. So I have some things like, I've got some pineapple. I have some toasted panko crumbs right there as well. I have some roasted salted peanuts as well, and some green onions. And I have some, let's see, and I have some pineapple. So as I said, you can stir your sauce right into it, but sometimes I kind of like little bursts of flavor. So, you know, either way, it works out really well. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just decorate it with some green onions, which will give a really nice bite to it, even though we already have onion in there. I have some pineapple. Sorry, just put some pineapple right on top. Now I could have mixed all these things together. I just wanted to show you that, you know, you can do it either way. It's fine. Some pineapple. We have some toasted peanuts here, some roasted peanuts. Put some of those on top. We have a little bit of toasted panko for some crunch. And let me just move these out of the way for a second. And I have some herbs. I have some mint and coriander. I have some mint and coriander that I think is going to go really nicely in this dish. So I'll put this right here for now. Get that out of the way. That out of the way. Some mint and coriander, and I don't necessarily want to chop it into tiny, tiny pieces. If you don't like these herbs, basil or Thai basil goes really nicely with this as well. I like mint and coriander, the combination. So just put a little bit on top. I kind of like a lot, so I'll put a lot, but probably not. And I'll save this for my hand rolls. Okay, that over there. And I mean, really, you can add, you know, it's a dish where you can add the things that you like. If you like chopped tomato with your meal. You just put a little chopped tomato on there. There's lots of different things. I also have some bean sprouts that I'm going to put on top. So some crunchy bean sprouts. There we go. Some bean sprouts. And why not? I've got a few carrots as well. I'm going to put that on top.
I have a question.
Yes.
Could we stir fry the vegetables in like it was a fried rice? Would it be the same way?
Yes. If you wanted to add other things like mushrooms, for example, mushrooms and peppers, for example, you could stir fry them in the pan right with the onion, and that won't take very long at all. Then you would add your cauliflower, then you would add the pulsed cauliflower and cook it exactly the same way, just for the few minutes, and it'll be ready. So as long as all your other vegetables are cooked. Likewise, you can wait till it's finished, and you could just mix it all together in the pan. If you have separate vegetables that you cooked ahead of time, you could just mix everything together and stir fry it together. But you just don't want to. You want to make sure not to overcook the cauliflower. That's really super important, because it won't be nice to eat. It'll be really mushy. So I'm just going to taste a little bit with everything together here. It's good. It's funny how it really does have somewhat of a similar consistency to eating rice, as long as you don't overcook it. So as I say, just taste it before you think it's ready, and it'll probably be ready. Okay, so let me just clean up my board here. Does anybody have any specific questions about this particular dish before I move on?
I think I might have one. So could you add, like, for example, like any protein, like chicken, beef, pork chop, steak?
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, you could add any protein with this, any of the things that you just suggested. You could cook it in the same pan if you want as well before you put in the cauliflower. The cauliflower is the thing that cooks the fastest. So as long as you have everything in your pan, as long as you have everything else prepared in your pan, like chicken and that would give it really nice flavor. But it could also be like things like here. For example, so I have some like some pieces of fish here, and I have leftover chicken from dinner. I had red beet in the fridge, so I and some red beet, and I had pineapple. I have tofu as well. So these are things that can be added to, like, I have some cabbage. As you know, peanuts, and I've got carrots.
That's definitely a lot.
It is. I have some coriander as well. I have some coriander and mint. And I have green onion. And I'm going to show you how have you all seen Nori?
Yeah, I have, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm going to lay out in front. I'm going to lay three.
Just a quick reminder, I think somebody is off mute and it's a little hard to hear Chef's instructions. Just a quick reminder, if you can put yourself on mute while Chef is talking.
I don't see anyone. There's just me, Chevy, and yeah. And yeah. So. Weird.
Yeah,
It is breaking up on my side, but that's fine.
Maybe try putting yourself on mute, Erin, and I'm going to do the same too.
Okay, thank you. I get, okay. So I just wanted to, I have some bean sprouts too, right? We used them already. So I just wanted to show you with a dish like this that, you know, maybe you'll make this one night for dinner and maybe you'll have some leftovers. And so what else would you do with the leftover cauliflower rice? Well, you could, I'm just gonna put a little bit of I have just a little bit of lettuce here. I don't want to put I don't want them to be too big. So, or maybe it doesn't really matter. But something like that. Something like that. Okay. All right. So, got some lettuce there. Now, I'm going to take some of this cauliflower rice that I made, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the right here. Instead of using rice, I mean there is some other things in here. It's fine. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the rice down. Put a little bit of the rice down. Actually, let me just turn this around a little bit. Like that. Put a little bit of the rice down. Now, I've got some carrots here. Just a few carrots. You don't want to put too many things in here because you won't be able to close it up. A few carrots. I have some julienne beets, raw beets actually. So that's going to be really great, healthy. And you notice I have a lot of different colors. A lot of different colors here with a lot of different vitamins and minerals. So it's going to be it's going to wallop, it's a big wallop of vitamins and minerals. So I'm going to add a little bit, just all these little things that I have. A little bit of coriander. I have a little bit of green onions here. I have some, I'm going to put tofu in one of them here. Put a few pieces of tofu here. Get tofu in this one. I have some fish in this one, some cooked fish right there. And I had some leftover chicken, so I'm going to make, this one's going to be chicken, just a little bit. And I think I still like a little bit of peanuts in my things here. It's a little bit of peanut, if you can eat peanuts. I have some red cabbage, so a little bit of red cabbage. And I think that's good. If you want to put a little bit of a dressing on it, something similar to the dressing, a little bit of sushi vinegar, or like some rice vinegar with a little bit of honey or sugar in it. And I'm just going to show you how to make a cone shape. So you're just going to fold, you're just going to take the rectangle, you're going to fold it over, and you're just going to fold it over. Oops, things are going to pop out, that's okay. And you're just going to turn into a cone shape, just like that. And if you want to keep it, you can also maybe put a little sauce or something. And I'm going to lay this on my plate here. I'll just make a little bit of a spot here.
Yeah. With the,
I've got the fish. I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to roll it into a cone shape. There we go. And I've got the tofu with all the vegetables in there. And as I said, you can put a little soy sauce on the side, a little sushi vinegar. Put that like that. Or if you're like me, oops, you might like a little bit of, sorry, what's the best way to show this? Like this, can you see it?
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
I happen to like a little bit of sriracha with mine. So I'm just gonna, just a little drizzle, just a tiny bit of sriracha on mine because I like the spice. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't want to come out. There we go, just a tiny bit of sriracha. And so So basically, we've made one meal with the cauliflower, and this could be included in the same meal, or it could be at the next day's lunch. Also, it's actually a great thing to take for lunch because you could keep the seaweed separate from the vegetables and then make your cone out of your lunchbox. So that's always a fun thing to do. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about the food that we made today?
Actually, I wanted to say one more thing quickly.
Yes. Sure.
I actually know a really good recipe for cauliflower. It's cauliflower, tomato puree, and peppers, and it's really good. I really like it. So yeah, I saw. Yeah. To share.
Puree?
Yeah, tomato puree.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I eat it a lot, so I'm like.
You know, a lot.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
I'm used to it.
Does anybody have any questions about any of the other, maybe last week's class? Or is Erin, you might have a question?
I just wanted to have a comment about yesterday's class. It was amazing. Well, I just wanted to keep it. I just wanted to put it in a museum. I'm like, it tastes so good. And plus, sadly, we didn't have any Parmesan cheese, but we used cheddar cheese instead, and it still tasted good. Yeah. And yeah, it just blew my mind.
Your potatoes
Huh? Sorry. You're on mute, and I can hear it.
At the end of last week's class, your potatoes still weren't ready, were they?
No, they were ready.
Oh, they were ready? Okay, great. That's great.
I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Could you use the cauliflower rice for sushi, and would it be mushy, the fried cauliflower rice, would it be mushy the next day?
Well, I'm gonna say that it's probably the firmest would be as soon as you cook it. And it may be a little bit more moist. It has time for the liquid to be released from the vegetable. But I think that if you don't overcook it, you don't overcook it at all, you make sure it's really firm. You only cook it for a few minutes. It should have a pretty good texture the next day too. But I think it's probably best eaten maybe this way as a side dish or a complete meal the day that you make it. But I think it would, totally work well in a wrap.
If someone wanted to try and make sushi with it, do you think it would work?
Well, that's sort of what these wraps are. It's a hand roll instead of using rice. I mean, it isn't rice, so it's not going to taste exactly the same way. But I think that if you made a little mixture of like sushi rice, where you're gonna mix rice vinegar with some honey or sugar, maybe heat it up just so that the sugar dissolves, just a little bit of sugar, and then you use a little bit of that. Maybe sprinkle a little bit of that into your finished cauliflower when you cook it. That's sort of what makes sushi rice taste like sushi rice. The difference being is that it wouldn't be absorbed the same way that the rice would absorb it, but I think that you'd have a similar taste. Yeah. And also, what I didn't add to this was pickled ginger. I meant to put some pickled ginger in there. So, yeah. All these things would give your finished product more of a sushi taste, right? The seasoned vinegar and the pickled ginger, some wasabi as well. some wasabi would really, yeah, make a big difference here. Or some, you know what fish roe is, the little tiny fish. Some people like that.
Would crabfish work?
Crab? Yes.
Crabfish. It's like the crab sticks. The crab
Yeah,
sticks.
Definitely, that would work. 100%. 100%. That would be very tasty in this. Yeah.
I have a question, Chef B.
Sure. What was it?
If I'm Sierra and Elijah.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good, thank you.
I was just wondering if I'm gonna add some chicken to it, is it
Yeah.
better, you think, to cook it separately and then add it on top, or cook the chicken first and take it out of the pan and then cook the cauliflower?
I mean, it might be better in that regard. If you just cook your chicken, because the cauliflower takes very little time. You know what? I mean, honestly, you could do it either way. You could do it either way.
Okay.
Yeah, you could try it either way. It wouldn't. The only thing I think would make a big huge difference if it was a lot of liquid in the pan. You know,
Okay.
if it was liquid, I might dump off the fat.
Okay.
Little brown in the pan. If you want it to have that flavor, the chicken.
Okay.
Or cauliflower right in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one of those things you have to experiment with, you know?
Yes.
There's more way to do it.
Okay. I'm also thinking just bring the chicken in the Hamilton Beach Grill
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
and then just slice it and put it on top might be the simplest way.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, exactly. Sometimes it's nice to have them separate so that you put them together when you need them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I'm gonna taste a hand roll. Okay. I'm gonna taste a hand roll.
I hope it was good because I know you weren't preparing for that. Yeah,
It was very tasty.
that's good then.
And a little bit spicy.
There was just another question that I noticed had been asked, because you're talking about it being spicy, is what other kinds of dips could you use for the nori wraps? And like, what if somebody doesn't, like spice doesn't sit well with them?
Well, that's why I was saying more, you could use a number of, everybody sort of has their favorite things. Like some people like a Thai, you know, like there's like a soy, you could use soy, like soy, dip it in soy. You could use like a hot chili oil. That's great for people who like that. Like a seasoned maybe like a seasoned seasoned rice vinegar. So it's a little bit sweet, it's a bit tart. I could provide a recipe for that as well. I didn't put one up for that. You could use different types of things. You could make a little miso dressing using a little bit of rice vinegar, a tiny bit of miso, a little bit of ginger. There's a number of things you could do. A little bit of a soy dressing as well. Or make.
Could you use the dressing you used for the fried rice as a dipping sauce?
Yeah, absolutely. You could, 100%. You could add a little ginger and garlic to it as well, and that could be your seasoned soy sauce dipping sauce. So, or just put a little spoonful right inside and before you wrap it up. You could do I mean, it's not traditional, I suppose, but like even like a sriracha mayo or which would be nice. A little bit of just a little bit drizzled on top would be very tasty.
I bet if my dad made the hand rolls, I know what sauce he would add. You know what he would add? He would add the Carolina Reaper because he loves spiciness. And plus, he says that it isn't even spicy. I'm like, but that's the world's spiciest pepper. That's like the spiciest thing in the world.
Right.
And I tried like this much, and I just tear to pieces.
Right. Well, you know what? There's some pretty hot sauces out there, so you have to be super careful when you try them.
I have I have a question. Could you repeat again? Would you repeat again for the what did you put the dressing for the cauliflower rice, please? What did you put inside it? Could you repeat the name of the dressing you prepare for the cauliflower rice?
The one that I made in the pan. The recipe.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really I just used a little bit of soy sauce.
Okay.
I mean, there's a recipe that I think is on the website. It is on the website. So it's just a bit of soy sauce, maybe a tablespoon of soy sauce. You might want more, but like a tablespoon or two of soy sauce with a tiny bit of, I put a little bit of honey in there. Just like
honey.
Touch of honey.
Okay. Yeah.
A little bit, a tiny bit of sesame oil if you have that as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you can add like ginger and garlic to that, or a little bit of chili if you want.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we're speechless.
Okay, I wasn't sure if somebody was talking. I can't tell from my end. That's a problem. I'm not sure if you guys are in conversation or not. So do you think that is anybody cooking along with us tonight? Nope.
Sadly, no, because he has no.
He didn't have. Right.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it tomorrow, and maybe with some with the spring roll wrap.
Oh, nice. Like rice paper roll. Rice paper.
Yeah, the rice paper rolls. Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
The question where I asked you, would the protein go well with the rice? You know where I got that from? It's because today we're having full soy chicken for dinner tonight. Soy chicken, full soy chicken, yeah. I bet if I made the cauliflower and I had it with it, it would definitely taste good.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. And also because cauliflower has probably, it's high in fiber and it has a bunch of vitamins and lots of minerals, and it's a great accompaniment to any dinner, actually.
I think Fiona was just going to talk us through a few questions, and just as she does that, I'm just going to launch a poll. We would love your feedback on the class and what you thought of today's class. So I'll launch that while Fiona is going to talk us through some questions.
Okay.
So next week, is our week we're doing is learning together. So we were wondering if we'd love if you would share some of your family recipes with us, or and the stories behind them, or things you just like to cook day to day. So we can share them together, and we would love that. And you could email Sonia your recipes, or send us pictures or little stories.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can all hear me, but I would really be interested if anybody was interested, if anybody wanted to share a recipe that I could cook. Something that maybe a traditional recipe. I think that would be really, really fun.
We're very excited.
My
and we hope
hands
to
were
hear from you guys.
My hands were dirty when you asked if anyone was cooking along. I'm not quite cooking along, but I've got my cauliflower. I've made a little soy sauce mixture for once I pulse it, but my son's just doing a FaceTime with a friend and he wants to cut up the cauliflower. So I was prepping all the other ingredients. I got all my onions cut up and garlic and ginger. So I'm going to cook it shortly.
It's good. It's good to hear. Yeah,
I'm going to prepare it. I love it. And you cook
really
delicious. Chef B, you cook really delicious.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
you're very welcome. It's my complete pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Miss everybody.
Chickpea enchiladas. Have you ever made chickpea enchiladas?
And chickpea, I've made chickpeas. I've made so many things out of chickpeas. I've done chickpeas and tacos and similar things like that. I've done nachos, chickpeas and nachos. But no, I've never made like enchiladas with chickpeas. No. Is that something you make a lot?
Not a lot. I've made it a few times, but it's pretty good in regards to having a vegetable option or a vegetarian option as opposed to a meat option.
Right. No, I know it. It's a great, it's perfect food to use.
Actually, it would be kind of interesting to see like different types of like homemade like paste or sauces for just I guess a variety of dishes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Have like a quick sauce class.
Yeah.
Things to step up to go with meat, vegetables, fish, anything. That's
Yeah.
good. Dressings in general. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, maybe I'll add it to my next segment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Does anyone have something that's a protein substitute that they've been eating and they didn't know that it was a source of protein? So has anyone been eating lentils or lots of mushrooms? Things like that.
Oh, mushrooms galore.
Tell them that we sent in the picture from last week's class.
Oh yeah, we sent the picture from last week's class. So yeah.
I don't have Chef V's email, but I sent it to Sonia.
Yeah.
Just say I didn't have.
Is the fish? Did you send?
Erin, was that you saying that you sent over the photos from last week's class? Nice.
Yep.
I look forward to having a look. I haven't seen them yet, but I'll keep an eye out.
And also, for the if you say what would be some good like with fish recipes, because I haven't been eating fish a lot, and I thought, oh, maybe it would be a good idea to like know some fish recipes for future.
Okay. Fish started. Okay. I'll add some fish.
If we can possibly get it, I mean, I'm not sure.
We're so excited that everyone came this week, and we hope to see you all next week, and feel free to send us any questions, and we really, really hope to see your recipes for next week. And if you cook anything, send us pictures, and we'd love to hear your stories or your family
For sure.
recipes.
Thank you very much for everything. All the best to the
Oh,
team.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Chef.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everyone.
So great to see everybody, to be with everybody. Yeah.
Forward to seeing you next
I'll
week.
take pictures after I finish cooking.
That's great. I love the fish cake pictures. I saw them.
Thanks. They were delicious.
Really good photos.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We enjoyed it.
Thank you. That's great.
And it was easy, which is important.
Bye, everyone. Have a lovely evening and hope everyone enjoys their dinner.
Thank you.
Bye.
You as well. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Take care. See you next time.